Allah Jalla wa Ala tells us in the Quran, كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته. This book we have revealed to you, i.e. the Quran, is a blessed book. And one of the reasons that Allah Jalla wa Ala revealed this book is so that we ponder over its verses. We ponder, we reflect, we extract lessons, and then we implement into our lives. Every single week, most of us read Surah Al-Kahf. This surah contains many different lessons and many different stories. Inshallah, I just want to touch on one lesson today. And that is, as a believer, as a human being, you are ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do certain things. When you are going through difficulty, you are ordered to do certain things. How the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes is up to Him. And this surah shows you that Allah Jalla wa Ala helps in miraculous ways. That's why when you read through the surah, a believer's iman, bi'idhnillah, it increases, and his conviction in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also increases. Look at those who fled, the people of the cave. They were youngsters. Take a moment and ponder. They did what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to do, to worship Him. They realized that it cannot happen in the community they were in. What was upon them? To leave the community. How did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save them? In a miraculous way. He caused them to sleep in the cave. Allah Jalla wa Ala literally took their lives away in the form of sleep. Allah Jalla wa Ala telling the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ نَبَأَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ. We tell you the story, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and it's true. What do me and you take from this? Allah Jalla wa Ala helps in miraculous ways. Similarly, the next story that comes after that. In fact, there's a few stories. One of the most important stories mentioned in the surah, the story of Musa alayhi salam. We know the story. We know the facts. Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam, they went and certain things happened. What lesson do we take from the story? That Allah Jalla wa Ala has knowledge that we do not have. At times you are trying to alleviate your suffering in a certain way. At times you're trying to achieve something in a certain way. As long as it's in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes that result may come in the way you desired. And sometimes it may not go your way, but as a believer, you've got to have full conviction that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses for you is best, and He is all knowledgeable. He knows what you are going through. And similarly, at times, we as human beings, we judge from what is apparent. And Allah Jalla wa Ala is telling us that when it comes to the material and the worldly life, it doesn't necessarily mean that those who have material, Allah is pleased with him. And this is also in Surah Al-Kahf. Allah Jalla wa Ala tells us that there was a person who He had given 2 gardens. And the story is long. Allah Jalla wa Ala starts off by saying, وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الرَّجُلَيْنِ. This man who apparently was given wealth, he thought that this is good for me. And his companion tells him, be careful of the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And notice what he responds. He says, وَمَا أَظُنُّ السَّاعَةَ قَائِمَةً. I don't think the hour is coming. However, وَلَئِن رُدِدتُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّي لَأَجِدَنَّ خَيْرًا مِنْهَا مُنْقَلَبًا. If I had to return to my Lord, I'm going to find that which is even better. Why? He judged from what was apparent. He thought that if Allah gave me wealth here, that means I'm set in the next life. So my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, my message for you today, ponder over the Quran. Understand that there is suffering in the whole world right now. Our brothers and sisters are suffering in Gaza. Our brothers and sisters are suffering all over the world. Innocent human beings are suffering everywhere. The message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us, obviously, we believe in Him and we help them in whatever way we can. We make dua and we trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have full conviction that for us is we do the means. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps is up to Him. We have to do our duty, and after that, the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevails.